Mike King is in the business. Mike King is in the business. Mike King is in the business. Mike King is in the business, man.
Hi, I'm Reba Hollingsworth with CBS 6, and I was on the mic with Mike and had a fabulous time. Make sure you tune in every week.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On Mic with Mike King here. Hey, I got the coach with me. Back again, we left the light on and family came home. Saraellen Bagby is back with us. Welcome back, ma'am.
Well, thank you.
All right, so you do a number of things. I see you at the top. Man, your kids are getting big.
They are. They're growing.
Especially your son. Now, he was just born, seemed like 15 minutes ago. And look like he's driving now.
He's 2, and he is driving. He's got a little motorcycle. Do you see motorcycle video?
Yes, yes. You know, it's never good when he start off like that. You know, they outgrow the fake funny one, and all of a sudden, the real one is one. All right, so tell people who you are and what you do.
Several things. Sarah be the coach. I consider myself confidence coach for people who are new business owners that just need that push. I am also a full-fledged photographer, which is my main and my love is to do photography, especially weddings and portraits. And then we also are now a leasing agent since the last time I was here.
Out there hustling.
So we have several studios, hair and makeup as well. I should throw that in there with the photography because we offer it all. And now working on being a venue owner.
So there is the evolution of Saraellen Bagby. Back, you used to be the hairdresser trainer lady, and that was your business. You do that in and out. You were great at that.
I was a coach for a big corporation and licensed in hair. And
doing all of that.
We grew people. Yes.
Okay, and then you got a camera.
Yeah.
So when I first met you, you were just starting the camera journey. Yeah.
Yeah, literally, you met me when I started.
Yes. So it started out as the side hustle thing, and we've had that conversation. When does the side hustle become the hustle, and we just drop the side off it? So you started doing, back then you were doing coaching.
Yes.
And you were rolling up with the phone and the day timer. Both of them.
Yeah, I was doing it all.
And I used to ask you, how do you keep the photography separate from the coaching? Now I see you add on to it, going out to, is it Ashland?
I'm in Ashland, yeah.
I come out there, you have a studio. And now you adding extra things onto it. What's the evolution? Talking about somebody where you start at one place, but where you are, maybe where you're going, are not where you thought you would be.
Oh, that question is fully loaded.
Yes,
so,
I got one fully loaded question per show.
You evolve as you're called, is what I would say.
Oh.
So I tell people all the time when people ask me, how did you end up where you are? I didn't plan it. I don't have a logical explanation for it. I tell people I believe in prayer and I was favored because for me, I did the photography. It was natural that I already knew how to do hair and makeup, was licensed in it to add that on. Coaching.
That was natural.
Yes. Coaching, I also had a history of doing that when I worked for corporate. I was the company coach. My role was to develop people so that if they won, I won, is the way I looked at it. So I started adding that on when I was doing the photography.
It's the natural next step.
It was the natural next step. And I was also, sorry, I'm losing my voice there, coaching other photographers. So that's how all of that was wrapped up. Then I decided, my 4th, 5th year into doing photography, I wanted a studio. So I went on the hunt for studios. I didn't really want to pay another mortgage note, but that was what it was looking like. And then I finally found an amazing deal. And I was there for all of 2 years when the lady that I was renting from, whom I loved because she had her own photography studio, we were able to intermingle. We had the entire top floor she had was about 4,000 square feet. last April, so we're looking about a year ago, she came to me and said, I'm leaving. And I was like, oh crap. My studios were not cheap to
Because when I went,
remodel and
when
to
you
get
were down
into.
at the end of the hall, you had the one on the left and was it two on the right?
Yep, so I had 3 in all to begin with. And then she came to me and said she's leaving. She's not sure what's going to happen because she was basically subleasing from the owner.
Okay.
I had probably a 20-30 meeting with the owner, minute meeting with the owner, who said, you know, it was split up into sections. There was my hallway for one price. There was the other hallway that she was using for another price. And there was this middle conference room. And so my original thought was, okay, well, my side is not much more than I was already paying. So I could take that whole hall. I was fine with that. And he was like, no, I want you to take the whole top floor. I was like, I originally turned it down. I was like, no, I can't even make that work. And he said, you know, he felt that I really could do it and that I seemed to have really good business acumen. And so I sat and I thought about it. And he said, I don't care what you make over the rent, that will belong to you. He liked the idea that she had kind of started with different businesses renting out from her. And so I went home with my little pencil and paper and I was like, oh, well, if I could get there's 11 additional rooms beside mine. I was like, if I could get all of these rented out for the number that I had in my head, I would be able to make profit on that. And so I think it took me till like June. So this started in April, by June, I think I called him and said, let's do it. Do a 5-year commitment, lock it in. So we did it. It has been a ride. Let me just say that, because there, you know, have been moments where either they weren't all filled or somebody may have signed a contract that was not completely established and they thought they could do it and they couldn't. So I'm learning this journey, but I love this journey. And it reminds me of when I got into photography. I just jumped into it. And then you figure it out as you go, because if you've already written the business plan and the outline, then you know what the potential is. And there's nothing I would trade for that. And then we'll fast forward into, I've been doing that now for almost a year. We are, I was gonna say completely filled, but we have one spot left open if anybody needs business, studio or office space that is there. But most recently, as you say, the evolution, I had my property manager coming in for a haircut, and he and I talk all the time about just different business things, different things. And there was supposed to be a barbecue restaurant coming behind my studio. And my studio, by the way, is next to the Hanover Airport, which is really cool to watch the planes go up, come down. You've got private jets, private owned small engine planes. And he said, oh, we're not going to do the barbecue restaurant. And I was like, what do you mean you're not going to do the barbecue restaurant? He's like, it didn't work out. So I'm cutting his hair, giving him his every 2 week hair, 2 to 3 week haircut. And I said, well, why isn't it a wedding venue? Like, it's actually called the Hangar Event Center. Like, that's been the name of the building, but it's never
Had you ever,
been an event
you
center.
had thought about that? Had you thought
It
about
just
that?
kind of came up. My brain thinks that way. Like, and that's why I like to do the coaching, because when it comes to marketing, in my mind, it's second nature.
Yes, I know. We've had that conversation about how I got snookered. Yes, I learned a lesson. I learned that you know, and before
Valuable lesson.
a valuable lesson that I should have had Coach Sarah B as a teacher before I had her as a client.
Yeah.
Because yes, I said to you, hey, you said, hey, will you take a price reduction? And I'm like, sure, to get the deal done.
Well, you got to know your role. You got to know
And
where
you gotta
you
know,
are
right.
in that.
And then I hear you say, never take I'm like, what? What happened? Well, I learned, but I also learned know your worth.
Know your worth.
And
yep.
then
and know your client. To do your research on your client.
Who you're talking to.
Yes. Because sometimes even if they say no, it's actually okay, because it was if they didn't. Somebody sent me this last week. I did an invoice last week and I called somebody that I look up to in my field for a contract. And she was like, even if they say no, she said it wasn't you, it was that they didn't understand the value. Don't be offended by that. And I was like, oh, wow, okay.
Because we had the conversation before when the photography business, when you said a lot of time people discount their value all the time.
Yeah. I have had one-on-one meetings with photographers and asked them like, how much do you charge per image? And they're like, oh, I don't know. And then I look at what they charge for the image and how many images they're giving. And I kid you not, I have done that with somebody that was charging $3 a picture and didn't realize that they were only charging $3.
They were fine.
Yep. They just were trying to get people to book them.
And what happens when you talk to them and the light bulb comes on?
Oh, they go back and start reevaluating.
They start having them, tough conversation with themselves.
They do. It becomes more of a reality of nobody can do a hobby forever. Like, even if you want to, you can't live off of a hobby.
No, you can't.
And so the reality of one, they're worth more. And two, there are other professionals who are getting more.
Doing the same thing that you're doing.
Doing the exact same thing. And I know I've even looked at my work before and looked at other people's work and been like, oh, wow, like the comparison. But then you look at the price point and you're like in two different leagues. So and one's just as good, if not better than the other. So,
and that is the point where you get to knowing your worth and adding tax. So you're having a conversation with the property owner. And then all of a sudden you bring up, how about this visionary thing that you saw? You thought of something right at the moment.
Oh gosh, yeah. And because I do photography as well, I was like, oh my gosh, like I literally felt like I painted a picture. I went home, I created a PDF file. I looked up weddings that happen to be in airport hangars, because it is a hangar where the planes usually would be. And I created a visual and was like, because again, this was another time where they said, oh, you should do this. And I was like, oh, maybe not. Like, y'all are thinking a little higher of me than at that point. Sometimes I have my own confidence thing. I think of myself, but then I went home and I was like, okay, God, if it's presented in front of me, the least I can do is entertain it. Let me do this. I sent it to the owner, and his words the next day were, I'll finance the whole thing. We're going to take care of it. Let's do it. And so 3 meetings later of what does that really look like? We're kind of going into it as business partners, where they're doing all of the building and the coming up with a vision as far as what that looks like. And then I have worked with my own designer as well, because I have to do the pretty part, Sorry, but us women have that touch.
Some do.
Yep. And so, oh my gosh, Andre. Oh, Andre is who I'm pulling in. Andre did my studio.
Yes. Yeah. Andre so he still have the wall right there.
Yes. Yeah, all of that is the same. Andre Young is one of the best interior designers.
Yeah, shout out to Andre Young. Yeah. And I saw what you said he did to the room across the hall.
Yeah, yeah. So we have.
He has a vision, and you can imagine what he's going to do when you turn him loose.
I brought him in. He's already walked. He did a walk through everything, and so we're looking to bring Andre in as well for that vision piece, and then Haley Builders is the building team that's going to be working on it. They've already done all the floor plans. We've already had one of our meetings with the city of Hanover. We have another walkthrough tomorrow, which I'm excited about, because then we get to take that floor plan, come inside the building, take a look at everything, and like make sure everything is cohesive and actually it looks like it's going to work.
Saraellen.
So it's happening.
It is happening. I'm glad that she's back. We're back together.
Me too.
Because one of the things, the way you operate, like you said, there's an opening, and you're not even trying to go down it. But when a person sees a person who's good at the business side of it, you still carry the daytimer.
What's that?
The book that
I didn't bring it today, but yes, but I've gotten so much better. I now have everything in here too.
Oh,
digital.
Digital. How can people find information out about you?
They can find me on Facebook. I'm still old school, where I like to be personally connected. So just find me under Saraellen Bagby. But I also have all the pages on Instagram, Facebook. So you have J Bella Photography, Sarah B the Coach. And we also have jbella.beauty. I now offer hair and makeup a la carte, not just with the photo shoot. And so my studios actually now have, it wasn't there when you came last time, I have a full salon in there.
Really?
And so those appointments are just like if you were going to make any other appointment. I just put it on the schedule, and I just know either they're just getting hair or it's photo and hair and the whole look.
That's right. She's the best out there. On the mic is Mike, Saraellen the Coach. All right, we got to go. Take care. Thanks.